The PS2 is an incredible console and it never ceases to amaze me, and clearly it does the same with many other people, since there are still new advancements for both games and the console itself today. So if you're a veteran or new to the scene, there's going to be something here that interests you. Here is a list of the things that I'm going to talk about in the order I'm going to talk about them, so if you'd like to skip ahead, please do so. But the first thing I'm going to start with are the online games available today. First up on the list is Final Fantasy XI, a game that actually isn't available but is slowly being brought back. There is no guarantee though, because they started not too long ago, so it may take some years before it's even operable. You can, however, play Final Fantasy XI on the PC on either the official servers or private servers that bring the game a little closer to what the PS2 was before the game ended. So it's still playable today, just not on the PS2. EverQuest Online Adventures, however, is much further into development and playable by anyone who wants to try it today. Now, you can level up pretty far into the game, but there are a lot of missing things still and things being worked on, so don't expect a full playable game yet, but it's totally worth keeping on your radar so that when it is finished, you can go journeying back into the realm of EverQuest with your friends, on both the real console and emulation. Only a few weeks from the release date of this video did Champions of Narath and Champions Return to Arms both be allowed to have a DNS pass-through that allows you to play online with your friends. Because of how new it is though, there are still going to be bugs and issues that you'll run into, and they will be patched and fixed over time, although right now it's still fairly usable. Now, the problem I had with my friend was that he was using the actual console while I was using an emulator, and there was some kind of disparity between the two that did not allow us to play. The second he switched to an emulator himself, he was able to play it with me just fine. And I'm wondering if both of us playing on our actual console would have been fine too. I'm not sure, but for now, it's very easy to set up, and I'll link that down in the description so you can try it yourself. I recently joined Battlefield 2 Modern Combat's 1-year anniversary several months ago and had a great time with all of the players who came in to do double XP weekend and have this really fun event, and it is absolutely 100% playable today, both on console and emulator as well. They have their own website that I'll link down in the description, just like all the other games and things in this video, so if you'd like to go visit it and try it out for yourself, please do. Everyone has been loving this game and it's been a lot of fun to play. Resident Evil Outbreak 1 and 2 are both available on their own servers, OBSRV Online. You can play them with anyone on a dedicated server where you get access to all of the characters, including new characters. You can play all of the maps, all 10 maps on both games, and it's very, very fun. Up to 4 people can have a great time playing through a classic Resident Evil game just before Resident Evil 4 took over and changed everything about it. But it's very easy to play nowadays, and once you get into it, you're gonna find that it's a lot more addicting than you thought. I played with my friend all the way from Japan, and we beat both games and had a great time. Both Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter DOS have online servers that you can join in and play today. I myself have been playing Monster Hunter DOS with my sister for the PS2 challenge on my channel here, and we've put about 50 hours into that game, and it's run really well. You do have the occasional disconnect, but it's just incredible how easy it is to get on and play with anyone all over the world. PS Rewired is a site that hosts many different online games for the PlayStation 2. A lot of them, honestly, and up on the screen here you can see a huge list of them. Games like SOCOM 1 and 2, Siphon Filter, NBA games, Ratchet & Clank Size Matters. There are tons of games to try. Now, not all of them work 100%. Some of them have a little caveat here or there, but you'll find that any of these games you want to pick up and play, you'll be able to sit down in one afternoon, set it up, and have a good time playing these games online. It's just incredible that nowadays you can play so many of these different games online still. I mean, more and more are coming out. These are not the only games, all the ones I've mentioned. There are probably several more out there somewhere, and if you just take a moment and look, you'll find plenty to do with the PS2 Online. Next on the list is hardware. There is a lot of different new hardware and tech for the PS2 that will begin coming out soon, or is already out, or you'll see far into the future, new things that I won't even speak of here because I don't know they exist yet. So let's start with upscalers, something that a lot of PS2 enthusiasts really enjoy by making your PS2 look a little bit more crisp and be more compatible with newer HD TVs. The RetroTink is probably one of the more expensive options. The RetroTink 2X is a great budget option, at least in RetroTink comparisons, as there are two other ones, the 5X and the 4K. I myself own the 5X and it is wonderful. I'm able to output in 2K and I'm also able to capture it in 2K, making it just as crisp as I possibly can. On top of that, you can add filters that make it look more like a CRT TV. You can have different scaling options. You can also even put a light gun box around the screen for some of the newer light guns, like the Shinden light guns, that allow you to play the light gun games on an HD television. The nice thing about some of these upscalers, especially the RetroTink ones, are that they are not just for the PlayStation 2. They are for any unit they can be plugged in by component or composite cables. And if you get the 4K RetroTink, anything with even an HDMI output, say your Nintendo Switch, plugging that in there and then outputting to 4K allows it to be even more crisp than it already is, which is really cool. Another slightly cheaper option would be the Open Source Scan Converter, or the OSSC, on the Kaiko website. This one's a little bit cheaper and allows you to do the same thing, probably with a little bit less options than the RetroTink, but that's fine because it still works out of the box really well, as compared to a $10 Amazon HDMI upgrade, which can cause a lot of blurriness, and while it does work and could be used for your initial option to plug into an HDMI TV, it is not one you'd want to stick with for too long. Definitely look for these better options. Have you ever wanted a native HDMI port coming right out the back of your PS2? Well, look no further than the Retro Gem Kit, something that you can either have installed for you or install it yourself if you know how to solder. This is a little bit more expensive, but it is an actual native HDMI port coming out of the back of your PS2, and it seems to be pretty freaking awesome. Now, there are two versions of it, so you can pay less to get less features or more to get more features. The less features is more for someone who maybe already has an upscaler they can plug it into, which is cool, but if you want more features unlocked, you might need to pay a little bit more, which can kind of be controversial, I understand. But if you don't have an upscaler, the more expensive version will replace another upscaler, making it look even better. So it kind of gives you the option. Now, this is great because it's not just for the PS2, there are other consoles that use this Retro Gem Kit, but at least the PS2 can look even better, and the nice thing about the Retro Gem Kit, it will fit a RetroTink 4K and output in 4K, which is so cool. So if you pair these together, these very expensive things together, you can get your PS2 to look fantastic. There are other upscalers out there, so please, in the comments, put your experience with any others and let people know what they can look forward to if they'd like their PS2 games to look even better. Let's move on from the upscalers and talk about the MemCard Pro 2, an extremely awesome memory card you can plug into your PS2 and have such a large file for saves for each game that you will never ever need another memory card. For $50, you can plug an SD card into this memory card and save all of your games forever, never having to buy another memory card. Now, if you have OPL and you have FreeMcBoot and stuff set up on your system, what you can do is you can also have the MemCard Pro 2 detect what game you're playing and create special saves just for that game on a special little 8MB memory card, as if you were plugging a single 8MB memory card in just for that game. This is really, really cool because now you can have individual memory cards for your games, save as many times as you need, and never run out of any space. I mean, a 32GB SD card will hold thousands of game saves across years and years. You will probably never be able to fill it up. A very helpful feature based on saving individual games is the cloud backup. While you are playing your game, anytime you save, it will upload a backup of that save to your Google Drive immediately, because the memory card itself comes with a wireless feature. So you save your game, you look down at the screen while you're playing, and it will show you that it's uploading to the cloud. It does upload to the cloud using the SLUS code for each game. So if you want to know where one of your game saves is on the cloud, you'll have to look up that game's code so that you know which one it is. But you will be able to transfer that save from your MemCard Pro 2 to an emulator to someone else's memory card and back any way you want directly onto the hardware and play the game from that save again whenever you want. This also eliminates any problems losing your saves, save corruptions, whatever. I actually myself ran into that very problem where I lost a save and the backup was able to save me. Incredible feature. More recently, it was found that you can use the MemCard Pro 2 to play games on OPL onto the original hardware, which is so cool. If you dump your own game, you are able to put the ISO onto the memory card and play it off of OPL as if it was loaded from a hard drive. I recently played the entirety of God Hand on hard mode with this feature, and it worked perfectly. There was never any issue. It played off the memory card wonderfully. So I recommend, if you would like a $50 way to play pretty much any game off of a memory card, go for it. Original PS2 controllers are getting increasingly old and hard to find. Even though you can find some brand new ones still on eBay, it's still not going to be as good as buying a new controller made more recently, something like the Defender controllers. A lot of people have enjoyed the Defender controllers, and more recently they've announced the Defender Pro on Kickstarter. While it hasn't begun yet, it's a very reliable controller with a reliable company behind it, so if you would like to visit it to see the options that they have and to get notified when they begin their Kickstarter, it seems like a good deal. Don't take my word for it though, it might not be, who knows. I don't want to lead people wrong because obviously the controller is a nice thing to have, but it might not actually be quality. I have not seen it myself, and once I get it, I will give a version of it away on my channel, as well as talk about whether or not it's actually good, because there are other things you can use rather than a Defender controller. I have found myself buying a Brooks Wingman adapter, which allows you to use any wireless controller or plug a controller in. Specifically, the PlayStation 4 and 5 controllers work really well with this Brooks adapter, and I was able to play entire games with a PS4 controller with no lag. I don't know how, but man, you get no lag playing these games, and it's really fun to play using a PS4 controller. Honestly, the old PS2 controller tech, while it still works and is solid, the new tech just feels more solid. It feels more accurate. So it's nice to be able to use a newer controller and not have to go buy a PS2 controller, which might be 20 some years old now. There are plenty more hardware options out there, so please share them in the comments. But for now, let's move on to some enhanced games. There are two that I'm going to talk about, and there might be more on the way. The first one is the Gran Turismo 4 Spec 2 mod that you can play on emulator or your actual console. This one adds a host of new features to Gran Turismo 4. Now, to be clear, they did not mess with the base game in a way that changes how driving works, because that would really ruin the experience of a game that is already universally liked for how well it drives. Instead, this adds things like new camera views, car sounds that are more accurate, new cars, some changes to cars that didn't make sense when they first saw them, some new events, even new tracks. There is a lot to look forward to in this game, and you can even find some enhanced textures that you can add onto this, and that is wonderful. I'm so glad someone came back and did this, because this is what I'm probably going to use on my playthrough on my channel. It's just too good of a mod to miss out on. Dark Cloud also received an enhanced mod, which increases the graphical fidelity of the game, including a widescreen patch. It includes new dialogue, some new weapon effects, new enemies, new side quests, and a ton more. This is really cool because Dark Cloud is a very interesting game, and being able to have all these quality of life improvements in it makes it even more desirable to play. So please go check this out as well, because I can't recommend it enough. There are many more game enhancements out there. Some are small, some are big. Maybe we won't see any for a few more years, but now that things have been moving forward for the PS2, including one of the next things I'm going to talk about, or at least the possibility of it, we might be seeing more of these enhancements to come. PS Retro X is a PlayStation 2 decompilation and recompilation tool that is a C++ application designed to reverse engineer PlayStation 2 games so that you can actually extract them and enable them on the PC. So that is a really cool idea. However, please temper your expectations. The person who's working on this has said that it is currently not in development. It's on hold, mostly because he's a student and working on other things. He is sharing the code on GitHub though, so anyone who would be interested in either assisting or taking a look themselves should go look. This would open up a huge host of new capabilities for PlayStation 2 games. just like Mario 64's recompilation decompilation, where you can now have ray tracing on it and play it on the PC, which is a super cool feature, but the PS2 is probably quite some way off of actually having this happen. The last thing I'd like to mention is how to dump your own PS2 games using a DVD-R burner drive, one that you'll probably want to get a decent one for, because the better the drive, the better the dump, which is something I didn't think I'd say, but if you get a better drive, you will get a better PS2 game dump. Now, the first thing you can use is ImageBurn, a program that a lot of people use to just create a copy of the file, and that's pretty much it. It's simple. I myself have used a slightly more advanced method called the Media Preservation Front End, or the MPF, which is really helpful and I think probably the best way to do it for multiple reasons, such as being able to tag that dump to let them know how it worked, as well as just actually preserving the media from the PS2 games. A lot of people are very passionate about making sure physical media stays preserved, and this is the perfect application to do so. You also have options for Linux, which is really cool, and you have other options as well, but these ones are the main ones that you'd likely use to dump your games, to create an ISO, to use on your Memcard Pro 2, something I've done myself. I hope you enjoyed this very brief look at a lot of different features and things the PS2 has going for it today, and things you'll look forward to in the future. And now that you know some of these things exist, you can search them out yourself and find out if there's anything else hidden out there, things that are being worked on today, maybe even in secret? I mean, I don't know how you'd find it, it's supposed to be a secret. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Let me know in the comments of anything else you know of, because that will really help anyone else looking for something cool or something very niche, and they too can enjoy the PS2 just like all of us. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to the channel's memberships and donations continuing the PlayStation 2 challenge, which is something I'm working on right now, beating all 4,218 games. If you'd like to join the channel and see more of that, please do. If not, that's fine. I understand that this kind of PS2 news or small videos like this might be useful to you in a different way. Otherwise, I'll see everyone for the next video soon. Later.